type of ownership in apartment buildings is a condominium type of ownership, which essentially means that multiple owners are in charge of the building itself, including maintenance and renovation, and therefore they're the ones that need to collectively decide on undertaking energy renovation of their building.
The tenants or the owners of apartments in the building, they are the ones who make decisions. And that's why it's important to support the decision-making process. It's not easy to convince people to invest their money into retrofitting.
Lodi municipality has been involved in this project called Factor 20 by Lombardy region. This project is a live project, and we had this test case to try to find a way to do the energy refurbishment of buildings through third-party financing, so through UNESCO. So at the end of the study, we made a proposal that they could refurbish the condominium with a good payback time. Then we said, okay, this is a standard contract that you can use. We don't want to be involved in the process. So you can find in the market ESCOs that will participate to your bidding process and then do the investment. But actually the assembly decided not to go on because they said we don't want to give money to an external market player. So we want to do the investment, but actually they can't do the investment because they don't have money to do it. So actually it was in some way a lose-lose solution.
A lot of efforts need to be put into revising the way that decisions are taking place in terms of renovation work in this type of buildings. And in certain cases, it could be recommended that an independent body is there to support the owners throughout the process of the renovation work. Any successful energy efficiency policy that addresses the building sector needs to also include strategies on how to overcome split incentives.
There are good measures that have been operated for quite many years. The most effective from the viewpoint of the state are the energy efficiency measures in the housing stock, because of the share of the state in this financing is relatively limited. Costs of the renovation are borne by the homeowners, and that's why it's quite a cheap way for the state to improve the energy efficiency in the national energy system and in the buildings. And those measures, if they will be continued in the future, they can deliver the energy savings and also contribution to the country's economy. The interest of homeowners has increased to improve the general condition of the buildings, and people are understanding what are the benefits of renovation and improving the energy efficiency in buildings.
We are looking forward 3 buildings, 2 housing cooperatives. How these cooperatives using energy after renovation? It is the energy using close to the level of the nearly zero standard in Europe. But I think we are becoming here a very good example, like the best practice, and we can show this for other cooperative members, member organizations in Estonia or abroad.
This building, Sopruse 202, was renovated during the years 2012 and 13, and the investment was really big. It was more than 2 million euros. They make an insulation of the walls. They renovated the heating system and the ventilation, and they installed heat recovery system, and they also used triple glazed windows, and the windows were moved on the outer side of the building. And 35% of this investment was received from the state fund Competence. So it was a grant. And this was a very big help, because it helped to convince residents that it is meaningful, that it's really needed, and that the state is supporting this process of renovation of multi-apartment buildings. After renovation, they have now measured the energy savings during one winter, And during this winter, the average was approximately 60% of energy savings.
We also need to think beyond what is currently in place. For instance, when it comes to the energy performance certificates and information to the tenant regarding the energy efficiency of their building, we also have to see how we can differentiate between the energy performance of the building itself and the energy performance, let's say, of the tenant. And surely with the Energy Efficiency Directive and the Article 19 on split incentives, member states are called to take actions to address the important issue of split incentives.
Our building was built in 1989 and we constructed it 211. And our house was pioneer in the Rakvere. We reconstructed the walls, we reconstructed the heating systems, and we reconstructed the ventilation systems. Before renovation, we used 189 megawatts, but after renovation, we use only 19 megawatts. We save so much energy, then we can pay the loan. What can I say? It's not come too easy because citizens in the houses, they won't understand why we did it and they don't believe the success of the registrations. It was a hard work, very hard. It took 2.5 years and all my holidays also.
It's very important, this work with members, with people, and you must speak them and speak, and this is not only renovation, this is changing of thinking of people. This is quite hard, but the result is good, excellent. We can show in Rakvere many of cases when people after changing is happy and bills is 2 and 3 double lower.